So surprisingly, when I posted the video yesterday about my license plate, I got a lot of questions, a lot of DMs, a couple emails. So I'll do a quick video about what this is all about. So essentially, I use this in combination with a front plate modification that I'll talk about briefly to do what I call a quick show mode. Now, all I do when I get to shows or I'm taking pictures, I got sick of switching my license plate all the time or pulling it off, whatever else. So I created this and a retractable plate in the front that just hides it under the car. Now this one is a little bit more complicated, requires a little bit more work. It's a pretty simple unit. I'll include the link where I bought it below. There are a couple different versions. I will warn you that you want to get the version that has these little metal hooks on it, because otherwise what it does is it uses a magnetic latch to sense when it has flipped the plate 180 degrees. Without these little plates, the latch just doesn't sense well, so it flips over and over again. I know this because I had that first. I had that version first. That version is a little cheaper than this version. I think it's like $29 cheaper or something, but this version is well worth it. So I would look for these little metal differences. Otherwise, the unit seems to be the exact same. So what I did is I did have to drill a hole under this. The modifications I had to make to the car were pretty simple. First of all, I had to drill a hole, widen these holes here in the license plate frame for the flipper, which was just a matter of using a Dremel because these didn't quite line up correctly. So I had to actually make some holes here that screw into the stock mounting points on the back of the Audi. I also made custom edges here out of a white vinyl material. I just simply cut those out in order to plug that gap. Now what's behind here, and honestly I'm not going to show, is I did have to drill a hole in the center of the actual back hood. Now a lot of people may not want to do that. You probably could bring a wire down through this, but I didn't want to. I basically drilled a hole, I put a rubber grommet on it so it's waterproof, it'll be fine. And then you remove the trunk, the back trunk liner, which is pretty simple. There's a screw behind here, a screw up in here. These things pull out, are clips. These things unscrew, which are sort of like the bumper. And that makes it pretty easy to pull this off and down. And then once that happens, you can get the wiring down through the back. So again, I put the wire back. Then there's a little the set comes with a short wire off of this, and then a longer wire that you can use to fish down through this section here. Now I fished it down into here, so you'll see that that wire eventually goes to this little control box. Now this control box, the wire is long enough that you could mount this control box up in the cab if you wanted to. You'd have to wire it and fish the wire, take a while, but it's certainly possible. From here you can turn the functionality on or off, and then these buttons will flip it. 180 degrees once. Now there is a green and red indicator on this that show you whether it is green is for the good side, which means that you've got your real plate, and then a solid red means you've got the fake plate out. In my case, it's not a fake plate, it's just my Instagram name. On the back of this control box, as you'll see, there's a number of plugs. It's sort of hard to see here. Get some better light. There's a number of plugs that these go into. There's a remote plug for the power. There's a plug to get to the to plug in for the wire that you string down from the plate itself. And then there's also a remote light, which you'll see here, which is not particularly helpful. Just sort of blinks all the time, so I don't even really use it. So I left this unit in the trunk because it's easier. I leave it off most of the time. The reason why is because in some states, in theory, this is illegal, or at least that's what I've read. I've had a number of questions about that too. So the answer is, from my understanding, state to state, this can be illegal or not. Obviously, it's illegal to use it and not show your plate while you're driving. I don't recommend that. I only use this when I'm at a show or when I'm taking pictures and I'm not on the road, just to provide that little bit of extra cushion. I have this back here where I can't access it, and I can turn it on and off just in case I forget or whatever else. And if a cop ever stopped me, I could show him that I can't just drive and flip it. Now, however, when I'm at the shows, I wanted to be able to do everything from the cockpit. So I basically opened the box and rewired it slightly to get an extra wire to the whole circuitry. You can see this little gray wire here. Maybe I don't know how good the lighting is, but I get this little gray wire that I patched in, and I've run that up to the center console. So, and that's where the new console I'm building comes in. The new console I'm building will not only have a red-green light showing me whether it is flipped or not, so it's a remote off the light in the actual box back there, and then it will also has a remote to be able to essentially remotely press that button with the console that I've built for the center console, which should be done and installed shortly. Just waiting for a couple of small wires and stuff. Now, also, that same console will have control over the front plate. The front plate simply comes in and out. You can see that it is actually tucked in here right now, so that you can see the entire face of the car. Then, when the time comes, I simply activate it, and then it will come out, and the plate is visible. So I'll see if I can show how that works. So same thing. This can only be operated via pretty specific circuitry. There's really no circuitry involved. There's actually a story on how I modified the original kit to make it waterproof, because the original kit is not really waterproof. And I simply put a rocker switch under the dash right now, which you probably can't see without any lighting. So I put a rocker switch for now under the dash that you can see right there. That simply pushes it out and pulls it in. And same thing, this new wiring includes a special box that I made to put it in and put it out with a push of a button, that also will have sort of an active and non-active green-red situation, so I'll know exactly what's going on with the show mode. Now, I'll include the link for the front kit, the hiding kit. They sell them. I think I bought mine on Amazon. There's more complicated ones. There's even a Bluetooth one that costs a ridiculous amount of money. So there's other options too, and that one's really simple. You just sort of mount it up. Again, mine wasn't what I considered to be waterproof, so I put like a housing on it, which again, there you can check in the Instagram stories. And if I can find some pictures, I'll add it to this as I edit the video. But essentially, that's what the show mode plates are. And as I mentioned before, this is all going to be controlled by my new center console here. You can see I've already mounted the light for the green-red indicator, so this will be the back plate, this will be the front plate, It's just a matter of getting it all wired up, and then under normal circumstances that'll be hidden in the ashtray. Just need to finish it up, pretty it up a little bit. And here's the box that I made with the electronics to make the front plate go on and out, in and out, with a button too. Anyways, that's it. I'll leave the links for the kits in case you want to do it yourself. Again, legality, I don't know the legality state by state. I know in my state, from what I can see, these are not legal. So again, I keep them installed this way so I can say I can't flip them if I'm driving. At least not the rear plate for sure. And, you know, use at your own risk. I'm certainly not trying to break any laws with this. It is simply just for show. And because I loved Knight Rider as a kid. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. Hope this is helpful. Good one.